Hello everyone, we're back. And last video we were talking about the saxophone model and different attributes in different settings to edit to maybe make that a better print. And this video I'm just going to quickly go over models and things that, issues with models from the internet that were either maybe scanned, like with a 3D laser scanner, or somebody really didn't make a good model. And so I downloaded a helmet, a gladiator helmet from the Smithsonian, and I'm zooming in here and you can see how little tiny it is. And so Curea came up with this first error saying your model is not manifold. The highlighted areas indicate missing or extraneous surfaces. And so what that means is that this isn't a watertight model, essentially. There's no volume. It's got holes in it. And it's very hard to print something like that because the computer, the slicing program, really doesn't know how to deal with those areas. So it's important when you're working and creating your 3D models that they be watertight and that they be volumes and solids. And we'll discuss that in Rhino of how to make sure that you have watertight models. But in general, this is what it's going to look like. And I'm not exactly sure why it's super small because the object was in millimeters. Sometimes it automatically shrinks itself down. But what I can do is I can just scale that up, and I'm just going to say 40 millimeters for right now, just to see what we have. And you see this crazy dotted pattern that's on the interior of this helmet. This is what's saying is missing. These are the missing surfaces. It doesn't really know how to deal with those. And the reason that this is probably missing is because the 3D scanner probably completely missed the interior. So I bet this is just reading it as a surface practically. Let's see if we can just rotate this a little bit. I just want to kind of give you an idea of, again, of how I might rotate an object like this. Let's assume that it is working. I'm going to turn my snap off. And I'm going to rotate it around so it's upright. Now that's probably most likely how I would print it. And you can kind of see it tried to automatically bring it down to the build plate. I'm going to push the lay flat button and let it do its thing. But you can see how I would put it down there, and this is to kind of make the support structure be on the interior of the helmet. If I were to print this, or if it were capable of being printed, I would want to print it this way and hide all that support structure in a space that I'm not going to see. So that is one method of rotating your object. And this back area, you're going to have some support structure, but honestly, that's kind of super easy area to clean up if I want to clean up the support structure. So perfect. It kind of, perfect, not perfect. It's laying flat, but it's also not really going to print. And I'm just going to slice it. I'm going to actually change my support to, sure, just touching build plate. Just change that to 60%. Build plate, I'm just going to do a brim. And I'm not going to do extra fine. I'm actually just going to do super fast just so it's easy. And I'm going to keep these changes. And I'm going to hit slice. And we'll kind of see what it does for these polka dot areas. All right, done slicing. We'll hit preview and we'll take a look. And you can see right now we've got a whole lot of support structure, and I'm going to start with my layers down here. Now you see how it's actually just printing lots of support? And in fact, you know, it's if we look at it from a side view, it should be printing something here, something of this helmet. But it's actually, it printed like a little bit, but really nothing else. And that's because of those missing surfaces. And I'm just going to keep going up. And finally, right about here, it's saying, okay, I guess I can start printing something. And it's actually printing the interior as a completely solid object, which is not really ideal. You know, ideally, this would be like a really thin model, or it would really have like not a lot of volume. It would just be a shell kind of object. So it's not really printing nicely, and it isn't really worth printing. We'd have to do a lot of cleanup in a different program to try to get this to be in a working model. But that is something that we really don't want to deal with. So I'm going to cancel out this model, and I'm going to start a new model. And I'll see you in the next video. And in that video, we're just going to go over a good model and some recommended settings and things.